Poets, minstrels, and troubadours in Tessendor gather for the annual battle of the Bards. Hire the best entertainers and lead your troupe to musical victory. The game is set. Each player will start with the same deck besides their lead card, which will be shuffled, drawn randomly, and the players will gain a performance token and 2 dice matching the lead's color. They'll shuffle the lead back into their deck and draw 5 cards. They'll also randomly draw an Encore card, which they'll keep secret. This will be their endgame scoring bonus card. You're now ready to play. Simultaneously, each player will choose 3 cards and reveal them all at the same time. This is called Take the Stage. In turn order, each player will gain dice as listed here from the cards in play. The Wanted poster has a white dice icon, which acts as a wild, so you choose what color you want to add to your dice pool. Note that the Wanted poster can also be played from your hand. More on that later. Then, all players roll their dice pool. We next move on to Put on a Show, which is a turn-based phase starting with the first player. Here, the active player will have a bunch of choices they can take, but only can do 2 actions from the list. They can create a performance by discarding 3 dice in a sequence. They'll then take a performance token of the color of the most prominent dice in that sequence. Tied colors will have them choose between the colors tied. These can then be used to capture an audience as another action. Discard 1 card from your hand as well as the required performance token to gain the card and refill the roll with a new audience. Besides victory points, they'll give you special in-game abilities. As an action, you can also use a Bard's ability from those you played by assigning the appropriate dice, pips, and/or color. These allow you to add dice to your pool, mitigate upcoming draws, gain another action, performance tokens, drawing a card and put into play, or gaining a tune token. These can be spent freely to adjust a die by 1 or reroll any number of dice. Tuning can also be done by discarding a card. Lastly, as an action, you can hire a Bard. You'll have to have the Wanted poster in your hand and another card. Discard them, as well as 2 dice having the same number pip, or 3 of the same number dice for the newest Bard in town. Place the hired Bard into your discard pile and refresh the town. After taking 2 actions, the next player does his turn, and so on. If on your turn you cannot take actions, you must pass and can no longer take actions this round. When all have passed, we move on to End of Turn. Here, players can fire any Bard they want from their hand, if any, by removing them from the game, essentially trimming your deck to draw better cards. Then, all players draw back up to 5 cards, keep any dice not used in the last round to a maximum of 8, and the first player token moves clockwise. A new round begins. When a player captured 4 audiences, continue playing until all players have passed. We then move on to the Encore Round. All dice in each player pool is discarded. They'll put all hired Bards from their deck that corresponds to the color on their Encore card and gain those dice, maximum of 4. All players will roll those dice, and the player to have rolled the most will score a bonus of 4 victory points. Add this to the final scoring, which is the audience score, hired Bards, and 1 point for each performance tokens they have. Player with the most is hailed as the winner of Battle of the Bards. Battle of the Bards is a light deck builder game that I think is perfectly suitable for newcomers to the hobby. Sure, there are tactics and overall strategy with the Encore cards, but quite honestly, every game I played had every player roll 4 dice at the end. Not sure why they didn't add more icons to roll as many dice as you can. So besides that luck aspect to the game, I will say this, and this is probably the first time you'll have ever heard me say this, but there is way too much luck mitigation. With the tuning option of using tokens or discarding a card and gaining wild dice, I was never troubled with not being able to do what I want on my turn, even when other players exchanged dice with me. I wish there was a little more struggle with my decisions. To me, that's the main problem with the game. But since everybody's in the same boat, it becomes more of a race to get certain Bards or audiences that other players are vying for. The components are great and the artwork is superb, which complements Junk Spirit's other game by Order of the Queen, since it's in the same universe. Gameplay is fast and fairly smooth. I just wish there was more struggle with it in terms of making decisions. But as I said, for newcomers to the genre, They all seem to have liked this one very much. Battle of the Bards scores a 7 out of 10.